Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Well, that's fine. Then when is their wedding? What are we doing today? Appreciate it. Hey, pronto. Cos'è? Okay, why do you swallow it? Why do you so okay. Hmm. Take it to also control this one. Who is sitting and be controlling? Yeah, this six. Oh, yeah, say they. Exactly. How I use that. So exactly how I use that. Wow, that.
Ok, no.
Oh yeah, como no de hecho, it's not what switch goes over. No, you're doing that.
Section simple, section B.
What we started, man. I don't keep them. We have someone. I no, not yet. Yes, we saw why was that was going to address before it's for the actual now. Or let me go anything down. Right. Very fast.
One, two, three. The record. Yeah. One load up. One, two. Good morning, everyone. Very happy to have you here. We continuing with our training. Now that's when we took you at the beginning of branding. People online, please, are you still hearing me? Are you hearing me? Recovery managers online. Please indicate you are here. One, two, three. They're not here. One, one.
Can you sort of now can they hear?
Ariel, Kelly, can you let us know if you are hearing?
Can hear you.
Or
Good morning,
everybody,
doctor.
Abimbola,
Good morning, doctor. I can hear
can
you.
you hear us?
Yes, I can.
The volume is there.
Okay.
When I didn't ask that time,
I know it's.
that told me to get it.
And yeah, that's what we are told. It wasn't too much.
Okay. What is?
Everyone.
Hello. What? So today, going to start our session. Commander is coming, every commander is coming. Where are going to clear your questions? What to the global economic management system, philosophy and architecture. Actually, we did this yesterday during our specialized. We want to be able to share with our partners in progress, the NDLE, some basic necessities of our selling modules. Recovery management global has
The volume. Take away this one.
27 globally competitive modules in its entire curriculum. And once you know that, and we certify you, you can open stuff. Not while you are working. You can create an institution, train, equip, and do what we are doing. What is the philosophy? What is the architecture? Involve what we are doing. Why are we doing what we are doing? We talked about behavioral diagnostics. How do we do behavioral diagnosis? It involves 10 things. The parents of a client came to our office and complained about it or taking drugs and said, this thing takes trouble. You are welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. And I said, doctor, my son is doing drugs. He can sell anything. He can remove anything from the house and sell. So while I was trying to take my preliminary diagnosis and investigation into the case and to establish my baseline intervention protocols, I told her to run analysis over your son and rest and that. And in her testimony, when people came up, said, doctor, the first thing we did, and you told us you are going to run diagnosis analysis. I checked around your therapy center looking for heavy equipment where you will put the head of my son and press button. Then take your readings. I say, oh, well, that's the way, one of the ways to doing it. But in our own management system, we have gone a bit higher than that. We do behavioral diagnostics. by invading direct, given the fact and figures of brand, invade direct into our clients to pull them out through our 3E model. The first key, like we told you, is exploration. We dig into them. The second is the express what is inside, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the third one is that we now establish what it should be and write our report. So that with that, when they are convinced, we can now walk them through our protocol, where we have their emotions submissive, their passions directed, their imagination and their thought all centralized towards the same goal. When we are through with that, we structure out intervention. These things are like steps that you climb. No diagnosis, no intervention. And that's where we are different from motivational speakers and chief information officer. Counseling on the subject does not solve addiction problem. It is intervention through behavioral diagnosis. I'll show you the 10 things we do there. And then from there, you structure out an intervention, which is a whole program. Short run, in the intermediate, and in the long term. It's a journey, not an event. And then, how do we monitor recovery? We said last time, recovery begins from the booking desk. If the guy brought to us is not made to see how that is coming to us is to change him, then there are going to be issues. And then from there, how do we get him reintegrated back to society where he begins to make contribution and then continues? Very vital. So in global recovery management system, we have a nexus for. This is the first nexus, behavioral diagnostics. What do we do in behavioral diagnostics? In summary, we understand the person, his behavior, his risk factors, his strength, his needs. So anytime you are doing behavioral diagnosis, whether with instrument or no instrument, please find out what is his behavior. What is the risk, associated risk factor around him? What is his strength? What are his vulnerabilities? Where is he susceptible? You call this SWOT analysis in the corporate world. Where S stands for what? Strength. W stands for what? Weakness. O stands for what? Opportunities around him. And T stands for what?
Threats.
Yeah, threat. They are all present there. And in therapy, the emphasis is more on his strength and opportunities. Please show your client at detoxification, at rehabilitation, at recovery management level, that the emphasis pivotally is where he's strong and the opportunities are there. If you hammer back, depending on his emotional strength, it can even go worse. Say you the expert, and they said the doctor is a professor. He's telling me this. It will take time. it will go into his cognitive capacity that is going to be here for long. So, what do we check for in behavioral diagnostics? We take assessment. Server resources, for example, will have already a template, which we have also created for NTME to take assessment that contains that. And then you identify are there patterns of operation with this person about his past, looking at trend analysis. Then you analyze the risk, uncover the root causes, identify strength, and then create a behavioral profile that tells you all of these in a very rich coordinate. Now know the good, the bad, and the ugly scenario of this individual. Okay. So from there you go to stage 2. What is stage 2? Structured intervention. It is a design. It's not a guesswork. And that two people have similar things does not mean they have similar therapeutic intervention. It will be different because you won't meet two people who are exactly the same. Even twins that are identical, do they behave the same? And fingerprints are never the same. So, structural intervention based on your diagnosis. What do we do in structural intervention? We design and implement targeted intervention that addresses root causes. That's why in the assessment we created for you, when it is formally approved, it's going to take you to root analysis. You are going to see what is the root cause. To kill a tree is not by cutting the branches and wasting time. Target your root, and then you sort it out. So you have the plan, the cancer, the threat. What do you train? How do you build skills and strengthen the support system while you address the triggers? We don't finish here and say, okay, bye-bye. Make sure you don't come back. Oh, we don't want to hear again. Oh, okay? That's what it goes on. There must be a structured framework that it goes through to work in. We call it the liquid factor. If you put any liquid inside a container, the liquid will take the shape of what? Container. So each time we are asking people to go home and we don't give them a container in which their life will be shaped afterward, we are saying go back and relapse. It is the container that keeps what? The content. And the content will always take what? The shape of the container. Officer, are you praying for me? Verify that. So from there we go to recovery monitoring. Now, this is where our work really begins. NLEA does this, and some other public rehab, they do 1 and 2. Create a nexus with you in 3 and 4. Why they still come here and visit you, you examine them your way. We are more interested now in post-discharge plans. What happened to this man beyond drugs? You are taking drugs out of him. We now take him out of drugs by doing this. So, SARS, when you are telling parents and caregivers about recovery managers, let them know the difference and they happen. NPLE and any other rehab center, they take the drugs out of them, and they are free inside. Recovery management walks them away completely from it, and then build their life back to their original identity. One, pull out their instrument of authority. Two, and then establishes them in their productivity. So that at the end of the day, their brand identity will stand out. That is our goal. When the brand identity is standing out, it becomes reintegrated into the society. So, recovery manager, so now let everybody have a sheet of paper and a biro. Let's go back to school and see what we are seeing. So that we won't be saying, oh, those people are good. It's not just that we are good. We want to demonstrate our relationship with you. I think if we have to wear your dress to be like you and behave like you, we not like Oga Fatali. When I saw going downstairs, I said, when next I come to the world, I will join. Very fitting and all of that. So, in recovery management, we take clients away from drug. In detox, in rehab, we take the drug away from them. See my bottle water. Why do we need this? To explain. So that you can help people around you. Because we have seen people who release, whose children and kids are released from rehab center, either here or elsewhere, who will go back to religious center to give testimony. Finally, my boy is out. I think that's the end. Oh, this boy is finally out to make we know see fire inside where they be. We no go back there. We will not even call with people. Okay? When that kind of mentality is created, relapse is back. Like we said, relapse look for three things. GLV. What is GLV? The gaps, the loophole, and then what? From the booking desk to the breakthrough account. So please draw the first sample. Give me one. Give me Bible. You are going to draw many samples today, but we won't take time. Please draw the first sample. Some don't have paper also. Please, if you don't have paper, draw your sample. Whether your sample is random sample or not, notwithstanding, you will always get answer. And that's something about structure. You have to be very bad person because you are well nicely. In therapy, once you have a structure, you are likely going to get it. And structure does not expect anybody. Put in what is supposed, it will take the shape. What did I do? Did I struggle with this water to take the shape of this bottle? No. I just put it inside. And the water behaved itself and say, okay, I have more place to occupy there. Where there is a narrow neck. Did the water complain? That's what we do in recovery management. We create templates. We have created over 20 templates for NDME that will be labeled something like that. And then to make your work seem cool, you can close your eyes and do therapy, but please don't close your eyes. Open eyes. Have you drawn your special? Put personality. Personality. Put the dot in the middle. Inside. Yes. That paper is your own sound. I don't know why you are writing small stuff. Let me think of what to look at. Good. Now draw the second sample.
and write potential. See the way I do my own.
Second sample. Recovery manager online, make sure you do what we are doing. Second sample. Whether it looks like egg or tomato, a sample is a sample. Have you drawn? Put potential. Sir, if you draw your own like good. Whether one is bigger than the other, notwithstanding. Once we have structures on plan, our work will excel and we will get results. Then the third one under food production.
Other side, please.
Yes, sir. I will show you.
The third one, food production. Good. Have we done it? Let's wait for doctor. No use a doctor. Wait for you. Production. That is your client. You work on his persona. The other day we met them last month. They talked to us that they wish their skills, their competencies, and other things can be expressed here. And we said we will work on that because their potential speaking. Potentials are energy within that has not become strategy without. Energy within that does not become strategy without will lead to lethargy. I will say you are lethargic. It means you carry something, but that is not carrying you. So we are saying don't carry drugs again. We are talking about here. Personality. Don't do drugs again. The one where they inside you. Let's detoxify you. Is still personality. We must go ahead temporarily while they are here to see what we can do about their work potential. And in doing that, we said, let there be psycho education for their parents. So the what we did here yesterday was very successful. We used wisdom and we brought the two parents out first. Yeah. Psycho-educate them, overwhelm them, and they were ready for recovery management before we now ask for their work, for their children. Then we did our preliminaries and the rest, and we certified them, discharged them to go home. So please, as we handle their persona, from now henceforth, we are not going to leave their potential intact, untouched, not talking about it, not doing anything about it. We need to do 3D analysis. Discovery, development, and what? Deployment in a little way. This is not correctional service, but it's a correctional facility. Please get me right. And then we are not rivaling Nigerian correctional service. So since they change the name from prison service to correctional service, I've been crying as a low voice in these times. Because when you say it's correctional and you don't do behavioral invasion, you are not correcting anything. And I know NPLA will help us to go and do recovery management in Nigerian correctional service. Won't you help us? Because it's not about changing name. NEPA has changed name up to how many times? We still call them NEPA. So now, in the midst of your three circles, discover your triangle. There's a triangle you will find. Please shade it. in the midst of the tree. I found my own and I am shading it. No matter how small, you look at it. Yes, yes, that's your triangle. Yes. Even when your circles are not perfect. Have you all found it? Yes, yes, doctor. Yes. Have you found it? Yes. Now, that triangle, when you the one who drew it, it just came out. Natural evolution. So we want you to work together with us as we walk into you, walk into us. We can produce this guy until all works are complete. So we are saying when we are through with this pilot, please, we are going to domesticate a little framework here that will sensitize them towards skill, talents, competence, capacities, gifts, and whatever. So that when they get out of here, it's not only your bedbug they remember. When I did Snapchat yesterday, which I will teach some of you later, they said this guy is not speaking well. Say yes, doctor. It's bedbug that causes it. When they bite, let them not remember bedbug. How I defended NDME and took their mind beyond bedbug was to quickly create the theory of mind box at home. That if it is bedbug you suffer here, it's part of your learning up to tell you if you do this thing, bedbugs are waiting for you. And then two, a higher than bedbug is at home called mind what? Box. And that one are not easily treatable. It's not easily treatable like bedbug that will just bite your skin. So this is the triangle, the light we want to produce through joint effort of NDLEA and Global Recovery Management System. Now, what is this third SAP? It is called production. Now, let me tell you what happens when they do drugs. It's also production, but they are engaging their energy in a negative way. Anybody you see who does drug, substance abuse, is losing energy. The one who didn't do drug and is doing something good with his life, what is he also losing? Energy. Energy cannot be destroyed, but it can only be what? Converted from what? One form to another. So if it is energy they want to use, then what we do in recovery management is to say, what can this guy, when we join his potential to his personality, what can come out of it? It's called production. Pro. It's coming out of it. We produce. Pro and duct. Pro means come out. Duct means window. So when you go to duct, what do you have? Products. So we are looking at an NDLEA rehab center across the 36 states of Nigeria and FCT, where anybody that goes through our rehab facility with the advent of global recovery management system, they are going to come up with a product in two ways. One, necessary product as a personal identity. Two, sufficient product by what comes out of his life. You say, what? This place really helped me. Although I couldn't go to places, but was able to go into myself and to see who I am and to be my best person. So that's the new NDLEA Rehab Center we're looking at, and it is achievable. So this is the man in the middle of it. He is a triangle facing upside down. So please pull out the triangle now. This number 4. Draw it the way it is outside. The triangle upside down. Good, sir. Now, that pointed nose, put ability. Ability. Thank you, sir. Then on the left side, put reality. And then on the right side, put activity. That is the client we have worked on in recovery management. Now, with this structural framework, we are saying when you live in daily rehab, you know your persona, who you are, you know your potential, what you have and carry, and you know your production, what you can become or do. Where we are helping to achieve this, then the triangle we created is called responsibility. Please don't drop them. I wonder why Oga Mama is not there. I know it's you are here. Please note this very well. Don't send them home without helping them to reach their 4. Because in 4, you have shown him his ability. 2, the reality of his new existence. Being out of drugs, and you are getting him, you are getting drugs out of it, and at this point, he's saying, I found myself. I'm out of drugs in my persona, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. That is the persona. Personality we're talking about. While the potential is for skill, attitude, talent, skill, competence, learning, zeal, passion, enthusiasm. They are all here. And then when we join the two together, here, through our internal procedure here, we say, okay, with this kind of person you are, with this talent and gifts, you can do this. It will naturally come out. Then his responsibility will come out. Where we have ability as what he has, now that it becomes reality as his current circumstances inside me and then outside me as he's going home. Now, stakeholders, you now see the need why parents must understand this. So that you don't do all the work here for the last 6 months, 3 months, only to go home and fight with his mother. And to say, Mama, let me tell you the gospel truth. I shouldn't have gone to rehab when the one who gospel. And before you know it, it's fight to start. So, in recovery management, we repair the home before the boy goes back home. That's why we need you to cooperate with us. Hope the parents at the open center. Not that you say, Mama, and go to that room while your son goes down. No. We vote them diplomatically, officially, by committing them to writing, and then to letting them know there is a cycle education to help the boy coordinate well why he's here and when he eventually comes back home. This is the image you want to create because he's coming back home, discovering his ability, what he has, reality around his life, inside out, and then the activity he should be doing. Meaning this boy will come home to take what? Responsibility. What is that triangle called? responsibility. So what are the three elements of responsibility? Ability inside and outside, then the reality around his condition now, and the activity he should start doing. Don't discard them, please. If these three are not established, if you do it, relapse is waiting to welcome them. And say, John, you don't come, welcome. And before you know it, the friends that haven't looked for him for the last 3 months, something will tell them, look for John, look for John, look for John. He don't come back, he don't come. And before you know it, just to inspect Sadara, we land somewhere where they are drinking and smoking. And later they will tell you, not devil. They have always blamed them. A man impregnated a minor. So sincerely, not them. I wish they bring me there to do behavioral analysis. Then I will show you why it's not them. So very vital. Once we discover this triangle, we have done well. Please, okay, everybody, our work at this church was be able to show them ability, what they have, reality, and that's what we call sobriety. The reality. How sober is this guy? For sobriety in global recovery management system, it's just one leg out of 4. Don't look for sobriety, though. Look for success factor. Now that you are sober, you know your condition, you know your new state, your mind is made up not to do drugs, and you don't want to do it yourself too. What are the success factor you are being? And then 3, what are the skills? And then 4, how do you intend to be significant before living here? Once you can do that, we have done well. Once we can do that, we have reduced the body. We have slapped Mr. Relapse 65%. Because what this triangle will create for him is a bit of his person, a bit of his potential, and a bit of his what? Production. Then he becomes confident. Sir, you know it is possible to release a client here after 6 months and he's going home afraid. It's possible. He's going home timid. It's possible. Why is he going home timid? Because we have not been able to pull out his manliness. We have not been able to pull out his executiveness. When we help our client to come to this level, he is proud of himself. In fact, the incentive to go and do drugs dies. That's where I'm waiting to go to Nigeria Correctional Center to replace this identity to all inmates. If they don't get to understand this and take over the responsibility of their own life, they will still go and commit crime. I have solution to jailbreaks in Africa. We have it. It's not by building higher walls, taller than whatever. But it's by going inside there and see all the facilities that is empowering jailbreak ship, cordon those facilities up, crash them on their inside, show them why we are crashing it, obtain permission from their own position, and then build a new ecosystem inside. And as you build a new ecosystem inside for a framework, you will now build another one for a fireworks outside. Not to cage or contain them, but to give them expression for personal manifestation. When you do that, you are going to cut relapses. I hope you know relapses is not only people who do drugs. In prison, they relapse.
Yes.
When you see kill break, that is the final, that is the ultimate end of business. They have their own relax. So we want to solicit, but let's start our charity first at home. When we finish it, we'll take us to correctional service. And we'll show them what correctional service means. It's not teaching skill. No, it's not first and foremost teaching skill. Because the person you are not repairing is personal. And you are calling out his potential. He will still misbehave when he sees a little trigger. When it's back to around him and suggest it to him, he will still misbehave. Now, what do we do to turn this triangle upside down to face the right place? Before I show you bragging, I will be out of this place. Please put dots in the center of your three circles. Whether you got this circle, three circles, one circle. Look for the center of your three circles. Johnny is easy. Where you go, good. Have you done it? Everything a client need to be okay. They are already inside me. And this client can become president of Nigeria tomorrow. It's no certificate to me whether it's correct from Tangoli or nowhere. Sorry, what am I saying? I believe that uniform education. Your capacity, your character, your competence matters in your. So have you put up there? Now draw a line from the triangle. 3 points to join the dots. Draw it. Thank you. Thank you. Good. See another one, join here. And then the other one, join here. What do you have? Good. You should be an architect. What did you study? Well, don't look like that. I'm potato. Good. Have you drawn it? Now, the guy begins to expand in himself and develop self-confidence. He stretches out within himself, within his domain. I'm teaching you domain analysis in branding. And then don't just look at somebody who is behaving bad, even for yourself, and start imagining how you can enlarge and cover your strength as a worker, as a staff, as a Mubiri Kayani. Whether you like it or not, I give all of you 50 years, you will not be here. Two of us, guys, that I give you 50 years, you will be here in this office. I'm not saying that, no. You won't be in this office. So I'm also preparing you for a large and fit your space inside weekend. Look for big position outside when you are small inside you. And that's the problem of Nigerian leaders. You are looking for big position. Now, what is the extent of coverage of this man? Now put a big circle around the man. Outside, put a big circle. Thank you, sir. Around the tree. So, you are giving him space. Those are just for relapsing. So, the circles to ensure these are relapsed guys. So, connect like this. Okay. And that's relax. I like it. See, relapse. Relapse. Connect the tree. These are relapsed guys. You should not. If the three circles you should connect together. Who got it? Relapse. No wonder there are relapses up and down. Even your diagram is already showing why in NPLA talks that you are accepting relapse. Join the three at their edges. Well, what you are doing here, I can draw them out for you and show you where you are going before you get there. That's why we are training. And we have 27 autos. I don't know. Good for you. But now, these are not classes. The patient is like with that. You have to connect them by the three edges. Yes, it's up to you. Try it. Have you done it? Good, sir. Good, sir. Everybody are within the circumference, but you can't compare this one. This one is manageable because it's within the terrain. But this one, it's like Sambisa forest. No, don't. And that's the space relax is waiting for at home. And that's what parents don't know. And they say, my boy, you don't come back. Take that key. They rub the boy's head. Before you know it, you could branch 1 minutes and buy psychoactive drug and start using it and pretend because they gave that. Please don't give that. Now, it's good. He has a little idea of himself why he's inside here. But can you compare this small triangle to this large space? So the boy has capacity to expand inside. Everyone, good, bad, or ugly, has capacity to do what? Expand inside. What you do is to stretch and cut across your diagonal. What diagonal is this ability? I hope you remember. Okay, you were not there when we were defining the triangle. Draw out a triangle. This triangle, the way it is. Yes. You stretch, you help him stretch his ability. Still within himself. You help him stretch his what? Reality. Still within himself. And you help him stretch his what? Still with what? Where is he transacting from? Himself, within himself. So what do I do as a stakeholder to stretch his ability? Show him what that ability is. Ask him questions. Oh, I like drawing. Okay, he said like a flow through drawing. What was he doing before? Prehistory. We taught it yesterday. What is he doing? What can Steve still do tomorrow? To stretch him. To still within himself. Now, identity realization is the first slaughter to relapse. You will slaughter relapse. The boy will not be afraid because you know he will. All these people carry gun and killing people. If you show them who they truly are on the inside, they will drop gun and say, no. Why will I kill anybody? So you stretch his ability, you stretch his reality, and then create the convergence. Now draw a line to join the three. As the triangle increase or decrease. As it increase or decrease, who are you enlarging? Enlarging your client. For you who is not doing bad, that's how to enlarge yourself. Don't look for peace outside when you don't have a place inside. That is the root, the global recovery management system. Don't look for what space. Make my city so big and let me control 500 people. But you have no place inside. You will soon do something wrong. And they will say, don't feed that place. Sir, you don't feed the place. And that is where title and entitlement is killing African leaders. A man where is small inside his own domain, who has not even covered his own domain, wants to cover external domain. You can't be a lizard in Abuja and go to Europe to become an innovator. You have to be big inside yourself in order to be big outside. So a big person is not the person we see by sight, but the person we see by sight. Let me not go do that. So now the man is bigger. Now, is there still capacity for this man to grow bigger? That triangle is big.
Draw it to touch the bigger one at the edge. Draw it. Then room for growth. And that's my motivation why I'm ever a student. I've been learning for the past 6 years. When I graduate from another, go and learn it. Why? I want to cover up my search. So that when I get to heaven, they will say, see you small inside. What about all this space? You not cover. I say time no be. So now join it again. What do you have? A bigger word that is filling the man. Right. That's our goal in recovery management. When this man becomes expanded and large in himself, then he is reintegrated and continuity becomes a natural consequence. Now, between this large enlargement and the small gap, which one do you think will determine what happens in this ecosystem? The small gap, can it affect it again? But what will affect it is only life in bigger set, bigger version, bigger reality. That is our dream. And for doing it, we need you. For you to achieve it, we need us. 12/2 is the same thing as 1. 6/1. 2 of us. Doctor, you are fresh from 12/2. On one side is the same as what? 6/1. So you need us, we need the bilateral action. Can you see? I think it's a fresh doctor. It's a bilateral action that is equal and opposite to multilateral reaction. What he said was the necessary condition. As a professor, I'm telling you the sufficient condition. Please clap for him and clap for me. We no grammar here. So our guy must be discovered. First triangle inside, the second triangle developed, and third triangle deployed. Delivered. How many of us got it? This is brand. This is what? Now, can you see how you can brand yourself, even though you are not doing it? Look for your persona. Look for your potential. Join the two together behind closed door and ask yourself, this is my persona and my potential. What can it produce? As soon as you get there, write them down. As you write them down, look for your identity. Many are carrying identity card without having an identity, even when they go to work. And that's why Nigeria is where it is. Beside our garden, how many of you have identity card? Mr. Austin, you have. Why would you say, come here? Are you sure who you are? What do you remove? You show them identity card. That tells them where you belong. And then it's oh, sorry. And they let you go. What happens when you don't have identity? You will tell stories. You will explain tired. You say, okay, they wait for see, okay. Go and tell that. Sir, my hand don't take this one. Okay, is waiting. And then they will waste your time. So please, we want clients coming out of this place to have their first level identity. What is the first level identity? Responsibility. What are the 3 elements in their responsibility? Ability is discovered. reality is also discovered, and then what? Activity good. Are you in the talk? Okay. This I have to be. So that when any of that forget, you say the good day you say. Let's not send people. He doesn't know what is going home to do. And an idle man's plan is what? Oh. Then what is his ability? Find out. In our next class, we'll show you how to find out the ability. It's so simple. You don't need big grammar to do therapy and detoxification beside the drug, after the drugs. Because if you don't do it, and you only rely on drug detoxification result only, you're only talking about his persona, living his potential and his what? Production. And then two, the guy is going home on one leg. Every client you discharge must go home with 3 legs. How many legs, sir? Okay, mama, 3 legs. What are the 3 legs? Ability, reality, and what? Those are the 3 legs they must go. Don't say they don't have legs. Their parents brought jeep. And that's our problem. When we see jeeps and then they start commanding us, they say, don't go, And then, worst case scenario, what parents are telling you how to treat their children under you, it's not done. Please stop glamorizing that experience. It brings us down. And that's why when we call them, they'll say, okay, doctor, okay, I remember. And let me find out, I'll get back to you. They keep finding out. I'm finding out. I'm finding out. Please show them this, that this is what you are doing for them. There are 25 advantages of helping the guy to get his own personal identity at the point of discovery. The second triangle is what point? Development. Still within itself. And the third is what? Delivery or deployment. He is balanced and not lopsided. And that's why we get back to recovery management. When the general interacted with us, it was actually a behavioral intercourse we had with NDLEA when we conceived recovery management. General said, doctor, please help us in this way. Why won't they say you? We are not doing well here. Others were trying, but this one. When he planted his seed in our womb, we went to an incubated meat. And the seed grew and gave back to a holy child, whose name is what? Global Recovery. So please, learn for General Maruma, who gave us this. He impregnated us. And that's why we are doing this. So see our baby. We have delivered this baby. He's a man child, full of ability to know his reality and to create some certain identity. Now, this is how your client will not have problem going home to know what to fix. Show him his reality, his new condition, inside him and around him now, and then show him his ability. What if we do becomes a natural consequence? Because he has enough witnesses from his persona, potential, and what? Production to tell him who he is. That is how life is. But when we don't just believe them and say, his life was very red, like fire, when he came 3 months ago. He is now yellow, like Uncle Augustine. And finally, the eyes are wide, and he moves gently. And you then discharge him.
to give space for new people who are worse than him. We don't help his personal identity, his persona is not known, his potential is still intact in good form. When they are good, they are also good. Anybody who carries potential for his good, they are likely to be very good. So, very bad. Then at the end, it comes out. This one is a go-getter. We restore the persons to family, community, and productivity. They sustain family restoration, education, employment, social integration, life purpose, productivity, continuous support, and long-term follow. So while you do 1 and 2, we do 3 and 4 and report back. That's why we're trusting that in a short while, Global Recovery Management System will be a sub-department in NDLE. Please clap for yourself. Otherwise, you are disowning your own child. You can't deliver, pregnant a woman and clean mouth and say my hand no dey when DNA test show you. Oga Fatai is that. That's the real fact of it. DNA test is showing that this seed was conceived here, the baby is delivered. Then you now, the baby must take responsibility and nurse the baby. So, at behavioral diagnostic, that is your entry. It is the point of booking here. You book. Booking and intake, that is diagnosis. Then, what about structured intervention? That's the point of assessment. Where you do diagnosis and planning. Here is just booking and intake. Okay, we now know the atmosphere around this guy. Past, present. Here, this is the assessment. And then intervention begins. Here, detoxification, rehab, therapy, and all of that. And then how do we recover him? Monitoring and tracking. So, given this analysis now, please listen very carefully. Look at this picture. It now means for us to be able to find the identity of this person, we have to work together. Can you see it? NDLEA, Global Recovery Management, what are they doing? They are working together to give part to this guy, individual. So you are part of us, you are part of you. That's why we call it the nexus. The connecting what? Core of Global Recovery Management System. So that together we deliver the guy back to society. And it happened here yesterday. Oga Aliyu was a witness. When we came to supervise the two guys, we came to discharge. And we gave them the nod that they can go home. The little analysis would be, they confirm it. And we told them what to do. They were ready to leave. They follow us to the command and told the command and said, come with the work you people did on our children. Yeah. And with this new initiative, we are so sure that our children will stay. That was what they demonstrated. Now this was was there. So that's the result we want to get. And we will get it by the grace of God. So that's our philosophy. Understand the person, address the problem, monitor recovery, restore the person, sustain destiny. That's our ultimate goal. From captivity to what? Capability. Now, can you say capability? He came in captive in his persona. It was not his potential that brought him here. Rather, he utilized his potential to do wrong things and was producing bad product in the society. And the society, beginning from the family, saying, go and take a in NDLEA, they have said.
And he came to take a room and all those stuff. So, and then from there, this is our, so that's the pathway, and that's what it gives back to at the end of the day. Let me not confuse you through this. That's the bigger dimension of this previous one. There are 4 pillars, from entry to assessment to intervention, then monitoring and reintegration. Where does our work finish? Here. When they are integrated back to where? Society, not family. Meaning the family ecosystem will be okay and good. When we achieve that, then we are very successful. Those are the same thing I have told you in a larger dimension. You will have peace. And then these are the issues about diagnosis. How do we do diagnosis? These are the things you do. You gather information, analyze patterns. So diagnosis beyond drugs, gather information, analyze pattern, assess, and then develop a behavioral profile, and then the other ones accordingly. Now, what is our role as recovery managers? Because all detoxifiers in the house are also, as I close, are also recovery managers. We have responsibility. You ask 5 continuous questions. The first question is, what is happening? It's right now. The good, the bad, and the what is happening? Find out. That is behavioral diagnostics. What is happening? Don't mind, and they are all liars. Here the lies. And then every parents, they like to hide and conceal information. Listen to them, hear what they say. With time, you will see some other things they did not say. And then the second is structural intervention. What needs to change? Any intervention program you want to do, know what is happening and then what is to change. Maybe you are going to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. Maybe you are going to know the SWOT analysis. Where is this boy strong? What are his weaknesses? What are his strengths? And then what opportunities are around him? When you are doing that, you are doing structural intervention. And then please always make sure you write down. You are quack. When you don't write down, you are nodding head. I said, eh? That's quackery. It will produce results. But when you write down all these protocols, it gives you a procedure that can become performance. Can I say it again? When you write down the protocols, as you interface and engage with a client, it leads to what? A procedure that becomes what? A performer. So who is a performer? In NDFEA and recovery management, the one who goes through the protocols in order to generate a procedure that eventually becomes what? A performance. Where you get that performance, you are a professional. What aids you are fine to doing that? One, listen very well to your client with your external ear and what? Internal ear. 2, diarize. Write it down. Okay, although they didn't mention this, but in my internal ear, I hear that the boy is also taking crack. Not only meds. He's also taking it. Write it down. Take that to package. Some will tell you that. You say, well, not really more. I think the 5 times you are saying not really more. And then, don't ever make them a liar. To say, see yourself. You already know this vulnerable. So when they tell you that, just say, okay, although you told me at that time that you were not doing it. You now agree that you are doing it good. I told you the guy that I was working on, and he went and embarrassed himself and had accident. And he was afraid to report it to me. But I kept going there and said, tell me what really happened. How did the accident happen? You are still in therapy. He said, doctor. Don't mind my friend. It's just my friend that came and invited me. And we went out and I took some drink. While he was saying it, we wanted to put defense against what I would say. You know what came out of my mouth? So sorry about that. It's not your fault. His confidence came back to him when I said it's not your fault. In the recent sport, is it my fault? That's therapy for you. Otherwise, you won't get there. They will develop good sport and resist your treatment. Some of you will be interested in therapy. I will say you some of that time. So that you can access this water. You will never struggle with this bottle shape. See, small men. Who did this to this bottle? Why the next small like this? The water still stay inside. That's what we do in therapy. So I say, sorry, it's not your fault. Eh? It's not my fault. Then he calm down and listen to my therapy. That's how to do it. But to now feel bad and say, how bad you're you disappointed me small. When he leaves you, all you will be remembering in all your therapies. You disappointed me small. I disappointed my food small. Because negative. As a way of amplifying. Buy any newspaper. Or see anywhere they are gathering to see newspaper. Why are people gathering? Bad story. But that you build your flat and completed it. Newspaper will carry out. They will even look at it. Don't believe. But when 78 people perish because of a road that crack, it's a time. A good story is here. Now you see the world we live in. So very vital. So as we close, this is how. So what is this for last state story? Okay, this is your trial. Now, the back of your seat, draw another trial. 3 like that, but don't drink there. Yes, 3 trial. The way you drink the first one. So now, that's what I'm. That 2, and you see. Sir, meet me later for therapy. I think what I said. What kind of paper I was saying something. Draw 3 samples again. Don't mind me. We are closing here. You won't understand these stories if you don't draw the sample. Yes, 3 samples. The first one, name it as story. Where there's personality. The second one, name it as state. And Kaduna State, Lagos State. Name it as state. The third one, name it as strategy. It's still your personality, your potential, and your work production. But I don't want it to be clumsy. That's why I say I see. Now, this man in his personal identity at first cascade, we call it, is called his niche. His what? His niche. But it's not yet a brand. That's when we're at it. I showed you that in the last treatment. We are helping to discover his what? Niche. Persona. When you help him to grow the second circle, you help him to discover his niche potential. The third triangle, niche what? Production. It's still not the brand. Niche, persona, which is his identity, who he is, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. First trial. Second trial, niche potential, which is his word, gift, talent, skill, competence, capacity, and all those things he has learned and the one he has not learned. And then niche production. Those are the goods and services he can create. Are you still following? Then where is his brand? Having discovered his niche. Niche. Now, where is niche market? Wherever he carries these three niches for transaction, where demand and supply happens, is called what? Niche market. Do you get it? What is this niche service? Everything that comes out of these three niches to create value for somebody is called what? Niche service. What is a niche product? A material that can come out of its niches, either at identity level or authority level potential or at production level. Are we getting it? So look at what? Three samples finally. I said the first sample is what? Story. Now, when you want to discover an individual's brand identity, ask for their story. Brother, tell me your story. How do you began? Any brand that is working outside in their society and they have a function and to display and all that, where do they start from? They tell us their story. How we began. And then we ask a story. Your success, they call it what? Success. Success. When you don't have a story, don't look for glory. Be careful with organizations and individual persona who are displaying their glory when they are not proud to tell you their story. How we began. The original us. Don't be ashamed of your story. Can you see great men in the society? Most of them started from bad stories. My wife told me of a guy, a colleague, accountant, who failed a course 15 times before he became eventually happy. Now in Lagos, he's a big person on that course. He's now having some glory. People rushing, he has written all kinds of books around that subject matter. Where did he write the story to the success from the story? Please, where is your story? Don't carry a story. And must story be necessarily bad? No. Because some will say, doctor, what you are saying about story, my own is good. Now, I was born with silver spoon. In fact, my mother was delivering me like this. They said they saw silver spoon by my side, bedside, and all that. There are people like that who haven't suffered anything. It's still a story. That they are mediocre, baseline person. The real potential has not come out. So, please, what will your story tell you? Three things about the brand. How they began. Whether good, bad, or what? Ugly. Two, how they struggle through the ranks. Telling you the processes of the brand. And then three, where they are now. So every story will tell you what? Their past, their present, and what? Prospective. Even the future, where they are likely going to be. So to discover your brand, even when you are not doing drugs, write your own story.
I'm giving you a cost of 250K per person per 1 hour. So don't think I'm just doing this for your client. I'm also doing it for you. Okay, where did I start from? How did I struggle? Because every struggle is supposed to give you success story at the tail end of it. And then where I am now, where am I now, and where do I intend to go when I leave here? That's your story. So write 3 like that. Then you go to your work. What's the second one? State. State is around your purpose. Story is around your person. State is around your what? Purpose. We are going to say, what state of development am I in? Where did I develop myself reach before my father died? Oh, from 5. And then I struggle and struggle. Went to university, graduated, 10th degree, 2nd degree, 3rd degree, 4th degree, 7th degree. So where is my state now? Capacity-wise, capability-wise, character-wise. We are talking states. For individual identity, you are looking at one person. For corporate identity, we are looking at what? An organization. Are you still following me? I'm rounding up, just endure. It's only the people that endure to the end that will be seen. So, I'm closing up, but you need to understand. Are you still getting it? You should be doing this thing early on. Not after you have done 5 activities. Yeah. So, please, what is the first one? The storyline. Trace it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. What's the second one? The state. State of things. With his skill, with his strength, with his ability, and all that he can do and he is doing now. Write them out. And then what's the third one? Strategy. When you combine the story of the state, it should give you what? Strategy. Strategy about what? How he produces goods and sells. So where is a brand different from the niche? Niche brings its totality to bear as one person. Brand says you have not only discovered of your act and side of finding ready. Giving 3 things. Your persona, your platform and your work production. That's your question. Did I dictate? No, let's read notes.
What is a personal brand statement?
A statement that defines a persona, giving the platform you occupy